Hello, as you can see, I've been painting and I'm gonna do a bloom, I hope, on this 8-inch Frederick's canvas. Some of this is using up old colors, some of it is, well, none of them are new, but they're not all really old either. So I'm hoping to finish the rest of this beach house blue I have here. Which I used in my last video, if you saw that. And I also have, what is this color? Moonbeams, which is from the Frosted Sorbet set. So this is Beach House Blue. As you can see, we just have a little bit, so we want to try to use it. It's still a wee bit too thick, unfortunately, because, well, it's been mixed up probably over a year. And then this is, sorry, my dog's walking everywhere. This is the Moonbeams. As you can see, these particulates are very sparkly, very frosty. So I'm going to put this down toward the bottom. I did thin it a little bit. Probably still needs to be thinned a bit more. If you missed the last video, I said that the pigments from Colourarte that have a really large particulate sometimes do better in one of your bottom layers, and then they really poke through as like a wow factor without interrupting your cell activator. So anyway, what's cool about those Frosted Sorbet colors is you could tint them if you wanted with some fluid acrylics too and make them a shade darker or whatever. This is Sweet Thistle. This is an older color that I revived and needs to be used. It's still quite thick also, but it's lovely. Determined. This was used in a swipe on a big 10x20 I did recently that I'm sure that video will go out before this one. So beautiful. We're gonna unfortunately introduce bubbles by doing that. This is Fluorescent Blue-Green, which I did use in my last bloom. And instead of using Red Violet in this one, I'm going to use Quinacridone Magenta. And I thought I grabbed the Colourarte one, but I think this is Atelier. This has been mixed up a long time, so the bubbles are tremendous. It might actually need to be thinned out a little bit too. And then I'm going to use a custom, I was going to use Diox Purple, but I'm going to use a custom purple that I made by mixing Australian Red Violet and Indanthrene Blue, which is this one. It's a really pretty purple. It looks a little darker on the camera. It's kind of more of a plum color. Anyway, so I had just tried my theory in a previous video. Well, it was the same night. And so while I had everything out, I decided to just go again. So I taped up another canvas and yeah. So I'm super excited about this because it's like I know that I should have recognized this a long time ago. And like I could probably watch other people blow out their blooms and recognize that I was narrowing my blow too much, but one day it occurred to me, I was like, I've been doing this for such a long time and I don't think I relax my mouth the way I'm supposed to once I kind of get the thing started. So I know this might seem silly, but for me it was a pretty significant breakthrough, and I've been doing blooms for years already. All right, so putting down our Beach House Blue, and I have just enough left over to be annoying. So you'll probably see Beach House Blue in the future. Look how close I got to using it up. I might mix it with another color that I have leftovers of. And that is the Moonbeams, whatever I said in the beginning. Really, really a beautiful color. That is the Sweet Thistle. And that one's still a little thick, as you can tell. But it warms my heart to use up colors that have been rescued from being too thick and mixed up too long. I can't tell you how satisfying that is to finally get somewhere with those. That's the Fluorescent Blue-Green from Colourarte. I don't know if I showed that one earlier. Maybe I did. That's Quinacridone Magenta. I think that is Atelier. I think I just grabbed one. I wasn't paying attention to which one. And then last but not least will be our custom purple. This one needs to be thinned out. You can tell the paint's just sort of everywhere. And I was going to use Diox Purple, but then I saw this one and I was like, oh, I forgot that I had that, and thought it might be better. It's definitely more of a, it's less blue than Diox Purple. So it's obviously, it's got the red violet in it, so it's a beautiful purple. Look at me just making a mess. And then I'm going to use Titanium White Cell Activator, which is M-gram acrylic paint from Blick. You can also use Amsterdam. And mixed with Aussie Floetrol. Don't forget, I do have discount codes for Colourarte and Australian Floetrol in the description box below. For Colourarte, it's Mandy1120. And Australian Floetrol, you can save 10% with Mandy10, all caps. And she ships from the United States. Great prices. Sorry, my head's in the way. I did have trouble blowing this one out because the paint was thick. So not necessarily because of the blow entirely, but because the paint was too thick. But on the bright side, if I get it when the paint's thick, maybe I'll be like a real bloom champ or something when my paint consistencies are fine. I doubt it, but anyway, I had to work for it, and apologies that I don't have like the multiple camera angle thing going on for you. I wish I did so you could see better. Maybe I'll figure that out. My tripod that is the perfect height for blooms is like right above my head, and it's slightly angled. And I'm not too crazy about some of the other ones that I have that would give us a different angle. They don't hold as steady. I have way too many tripods, but this one is kind of perfect for overhead. It's just not great for you as the viewer when I'm blowing it out. So I got to figure that out. But look, not too shabby. And I do resist getting the turkey baster out because I think I figured out that when I use the turkey baster in the middle, it's causing my cell activator to travel into my colors, and I get these weird little dendrite looking things sometimes. And it's so annoying to have such a beautiful blowout, and then as it dries, for those to form and travel into the paint. Sometimes it's going to happen regardless of what you do, but I was like, oh, that happened on the previous one. So this one is drying beautifully. I was so happy to finally get somewhere with this. Now I want to keep practicing until I get it in my head that's, I need to break the habit of, pursing my lips too close together when I blow out the blooms. It's a really beautiful color combo. This one is going to be really beautiful under resin. What I want to work on now is getting those like round petal edges that look pretty, even if you wanted to keep the negative space, because mine don't look pretty yet. They look kind of ragged. And some of that's because I used too much paint. But, so what I'm doing here is I'm moving the canvas a little bit further to the opposite edge where we're having trouble getting that paint off the edge, so that more of the weight of the paint should shift there. So sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't work as well, but in this case it's working. So we need maybe another spin or two and we should be good. In case you missed my last bloom video, I tried to move the canvas and I had too much paint on the spinner and it flew off. Thankfully, that bloom was kind of and I was on the fence about keeping it anyway, so I just poured over it, but it was like, oh man. I don't have them fly off the spinner too often, but it sure did. Okay, so here's the close-up. You can see how beautiful those pigments are at the bottom to provide some soft shimmery color. They're not going to be very bold because they're stretched out over that white pillow. But I think the color combo is beautiful, and I think these will be really beautiful under resin. I had my doubts when I was layering them. I was like using all kinds of weird colors together, kind of a warm purple with cool colors, but it worked. And I think it's beautiful. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Look at that beautiful shimmer. You can see, you'll really be able to see that sparkly pigment after a resin. Okay, thanks. Bye.